Vicia NS says in game, Omgel MFAO. Isels underscore says in game, holy admin abuse. Don't worry, we had a shoving 1v1. The Zero Wolfie says in game, eliminating somebody in VR and then adds you 1v1 bro. Heart emoji, 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 even more. It makes them even more mad. Woke Furry says in game, I already won and I just win again. Woke Furry says in game, and then repeat after saying that. Woke Furry says in game, delivering them to a 1v1 map that is like a jump trail or rocket launcher. The Zero Wolfie says in game, Vision, you know Electro do that? Nicole the Wolf says in game, WTF my sword is glitch dash. Wolfie says in game, at least this time, note. Isels underscore says in game, someone decided to bring the abuse in today's bowl. The Zero Wolfie says in game, but isn't very chaotic like that one time a while ago. Vicia NS says in game, Leo, wonky plush in the bus next to Ziggy when less than /3. Orange at the Tatum says in game, y'all cuties greater than 3. Woke Furry says in game, I low-key don't get the purple gears with tough luck but otherwise the song is fiery. Ring Zero Royale says in game, truth airstrike. Woke Furry says in game, if the gears were golden it would be so much more fitting. Asher Blythe says in-game, did someone say airstrike? Vicia NS says in-game, oh no. Woke Furry says in-game, also the pro vocals for this song are so hard. How do you expect me to do this entire part without breathing? Spyro Dragon underscore 15 says in-game, I want to sing. Royale says in-game, yes Rico Kaboom. Vicia NS says in-game, no. Wait. Oh god. Isels underscore says in-game, cat. Asher Blythe says in-game, :D. Vicia NS says in-game, aw peace out Scythe. Vicia NS says in-game, even though you melted my face with a torch, have a good night. Isels underscore says in-game, GN Scythe, 3. Spyro Dragon underscore 15 says in-game, buy Zypaloon. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, you know, I hope soon I would buy a new PC before my birthday or at least in the end of year. Spyro Dragon underscore 15 says in-game, GN. Vicia NS says in-game, wait a second. Lazero Wolfie says in-game, GN. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, oh, bye Zypaloon. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, anyways, yeah that's why I'm doing commission to save money for a new PC, a gamer one. Vicia NS says in-game, Anthony fingers crossed you get it man. Vicia NS says in-game, can't wait to run some higher quality games in one. Vicia NS says in-game, also Leo stop shopping greater than where are you? Orange of the Tatum says in-game, on my emoji died XD. Wolf Furry says in-game, my 21st birthday is gonna be. Like, yeah, I can dream. But what's the point of celebrating if I can't have Phoenix IRL right next to me? Anthony Nerdy says in-game, yeah, mostly to draw very fluid. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, I guess my recent PC don't make me draw very well due of lag. Vicia NS says in-game, XD. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, how about a Phoenix pillow body? Ring Zero Royale says in-game, yes. Ring Zero Royale says in-game, net approves. Isels underscore says in-game, no Rico, no kaboom for you. Anthony Nerdy says in-game, WNet. Vicia NS says in-game, you. Isels underscore says in-game, Rico. Meekle the Wolf says in-game, how Rico kaboom, smiley face emoji, smiley face emoji. Asher Blythe says in-game, I'ma make it boom. Vicia NS says in-game, what XD? Woke Furry says in-game, Phoenix body pillow plus a bottle of, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, plus a lot of Twix candy bars equals perfect 21st birthday. Isels underscore says in-game, no. Anthony Nerdy says Cells _ says in game, you son of a. Ring Zero Royale says in game, I have chat censoring off, why it's still censored. Vicia NS says in game, wait, where's Anthony? Anthony Nerdy says in game, this nuke bomb is immune to furries. Dragon _ 15 says in game. Anthony Nerdy says in game, how about to find you medkit? Rig Zero Royale says in game, that's why. Woke Furry says in game, why is there a that? Lazero Wolfie says in game, Chloe is getting the medkit. Anthony Nerdy says in game, oh boy. Anthony Nerdy says in game, says in game, see you less than 3. My dreamer, the Zero says in game, wait a sec, we're eating is my pet. Spyro Dragon _ 15 says in game, by dream. Vicia NS says in game, my pet, I think the nuke's got M. Anthony Nerdy says in game, Omghixohi. Wolf says in game, hi. Isels underscore says in game, I think I'm gonna clock out before this. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, turns into World War III. Isels underscore says in game, bye you all. Anthony Nerdy says in game, bye bye. Ring Zero Royale says in game, see ya. Spyro Dragon underscore 15 says in game, bye. Visia NS says in game, see yourselves. It was cool seeing you. Anthony Nerdy says in game, what a cute Siggy plush. Winterfove says in game, plush 3. Visia NS says in game, Ziggy's been turned into a marketable plushie. Ring Zero Royale says in game, Ned Persona is real. Visia NS says in game, Meowscles has been turned into a marketable plushie. Anthony Nerdy says in game, Meowscles too. Visia NS says in game, destroy at all cost. Anthony Nerdy says in game, Meowscles, don't turn me into a marketable plushie. Anthony Nerdy says in game, Gizmo. Howdy hi. Anthony Nerdy says in game, I want an autograph. Anthony Nerdy says in game, Yuki. Wolf 3 says in game, Leo got shorter than usual. Zero Royale says in game, thank you. says in game, it's 7 p.m. Anthony Nerdy says in game, what the rat doing? Wolf Furry says in game, I haven't been to one of these events before, do we all die at 7 p.m. or something? Ring Zero Royale says in game, ooh another MSD pal. Woke Furry says in game, or since it's not east, it'd more accurately be 10 p.m. Scavenger Love says in game, Roe Pocos. Meekle the Wolf says in game, I'm 4 a.m. on night. The Zero Wolfie says in game, people normally left early before 8 p.m. est. Sometimes. Scavenger Love says in game, came on to Naki. Orange at the Tatum says in game, it's currently 10 a.m. for me. The Zero Wolfie says in game, so that's why I put it at that time as limit. Spyro Dragon _15 says in game, 9 for me. Ring Zero Royale says in game, ironically this is the first like CC hangout I've been to. Anthony Nerdy says in game, aquí hay muchas personas que hablan inglés XD. The Zero Wolfie says in game, pos CW. Scavenger Love says in game, _. The Zero Wolfie says in game, XDD. Scavenger Love says in game, aquí soy nuevo. Woke Furry says in game, I think this is also the first time I've joined a creative hangout in years. The Zero Wolfie says in game, XDXDDD. Scavenger Love says in game, solo entry for Unipublication. Room Zero Royale says in game, Quanto Zotron? Woke Furry says in game, the only other one I would hang out in is Joy's Dream World but it's unfortunately been long dead. Anthony Nerdy says in game, bueno, disfruta el chaos que está pasando. The Zero Wolfie says in game, Cephalabula. Asher Blythe says in game, taco. Anthony Nerdy says in game, aunque ya es algo tarde y está to chill. Meekle the Wolf says in game, yo también hablo español. Scavenger Love says in game, como decía Mapa Fury. The Zero Wolfie says in game, como se ces verdad Meekle. Scavenger Love says in game, _. Anthony Nerdy says in game, vengo aquí pequeño grupo de español. Wolf Furry says in game, konnichiwa. Asher Blythe says in game, poro taco quiero ahora. Scavenger Love says in game, donde busco esa pistola de camuflaje. Vicia NS says in game, BRBRQ. Anthony Nerdy says in game, why this is taking too long in the locker, V. The Zero Wolfie says in game, alright bro. Spyro Dragon _15 says in game, okay. Scavenger Love says in game, A. Anthony Nerdy says in game, oh he's back, D. Vicia NS says in game, I'm will be off but my brother is gonna be running around on Mac. Anthony Nerdy says in game, DWI was gonna go anyways. Spyro Dragon _15 says in game, okay Visions. Vicia NS says in game, oh peace out Anthony. Anthony Nerdy says in game,